right, well-to family, welcome. All right, once again, Rosendo Rodriguez, your night shift instructor here at South Coast Welding Academy, Houston, Texas. All right, come check this out with me. Today is a very special day. We have here our new instructor, Will, okay? He's gonna explain to you real quick on what we're gonna do for today, all right?
So today, guys, I wanted to show everyone how to brother-in-law a pipe, bigger pipe, but with TIG. So a lot of people tend to think that brother-in-law has to usually be stick, but that's not always true. So sometimes out in the field, when there's bigger pipe or like production needs to be made, we're gonna go ahead and brother-in-law the pipe so that way everything's done a little bit faster. So like Rosendo said, today me and him are gonna go ahead and brother-in-law this pipe. So let's go ahead and get started.
Get it?
So what's going on, guys? Like I said, today we're gonna be brother-in-lawing a 12-inch pipe. And the size of the pipe is a 250 wall. It's a thinner diameter pipe, and the gap we're using today is a 3/16. With brother-in-law, you have to agree on a gap. You can't just go ahead and pick one side, one gap for another guy. So me and Rosendo agreed on a 3/16 gap. That way our 1/8 wire fits in there pretty good. We're gonna backfeed it. So me and my personal style of putting in the root, I'm always gonna backfeed. I'm gonna backfeed a little bit higher from up here, and I'm gonna move my torch side to side. I mean, standard, the way I do any other pipe, but big pipe is a little bit different. It's a little bit harder, to be honest with you. So I'm still looking through the gap right here. I'm looking from here to my root and my puddle. I can see both, and I just work my way up side to side, just like I do any other pipe. When I come up, I tend to feed my wire from the side on bigger pipe, just like this. I don't really backfeed too much. Then I just lay wire the top method. What about you, Rosendo?
Basically, what I do, I like to have about 3 to 4 inches of the wire sticking out away from my fingers. So just about 3 to 4 inches, right? This is all I need. And I just go ahead and I place my hand on the pipe, okay? About half mid-size or a little bit lower than that, okay? But I still have 3 to 4 inches away or sticking out from my fingers, okay? And I try to keep the wire right in the middle, okay? And all I'm doing is pushing, feeding, but I gotta make sure that the wire stays behind the bevel, all right? And all I'm doing is going back and forth, and I'm pushing at the same time, okay? All right, look. It's just only 3 to 4 inches. That's all I need, okay?
So right now I'm burning at 100 amps, about 102. Honestly, it's whatever you're comfortable with. It's really nothing different on bigger pipe. Just the angle of the wire, something to get used to, but it's all the same. And again, like I said, I'm backfeeding the wire. Making sure I'm hitting both walls, watching the puddle. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop out. I'm gonna make sure that I pop out on the side of the bevel just to avoid getting any fisheye. So as you can see, I came up off the bottom a little bit higher, so that way Rosendo is a little more comfortable. But what I wanted to explain as well is that there is an etiquette that you need to be following whenever you're brother-in-law. And so right now I'm gonna feather my tack, but I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna let Rosendo know that there's gonna be sparks flying. I'm not just gonna start grinding out, throwing sparks his way. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, check this out. So once the other person gets far up enough, right, then I can start welding. All right, so we're about to start right now. Remember, you only want 3 to 4 inches coming out of your fingers, all right, of TIG wire. Make sure you feather every start, stop and restart. All right, make sure that every time you stop, all right, every time you restart, you feather it, all right, you feather your restarts, okay? Make sure you warm up your metal right before you start pushing, okay? Keep your wire behind the bevel at all times. All right?
Yeah. So like Rosendo said, you always want to keep that wire inside of the pipe. Like he said, it doesn't matter if you feed it a little higher or you feed it, you know, where he's feeding that, it's still backfeeding. Backfeeding is backfeeding. It's going to fall into the puddle regardless. It's just a style of backfeeding. You know, me, like I said, I like to put the wire a little higher and watch both sides of the puddle. That's just the way that I prefer to do it.
All right, ladies, gentlemen, listen up. All right, when you're backfeeding, when you're pushing, there's no need to push that much, all right? All you got to do is just make sure it's connected, all right?
So right here, guys, if you see, my gap is closed up pretty tight. You know, back here it's still open, but right here it's pretty closed. So I have a little trick when that happens. You know, I don't need to bust out the grinder. What I do is I go ahead, strike my arc, and drag it up and let the arc open the gap. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now. So you can see I just dragged that arc up against that bevel wall and just let it open up the gap for me. And that'll give me the amount I need to just fit that wire in there. So now I'll go ahead and just bring my arc back to my tie-in. Restart. And we're off. If it gets tighter, I can just shoot my rod up, my arc up, and open it, kind of like a keyhole method. I'm just opening up that gap with the arc. Some people might say not to do this, but I've passed multiple x-rays. I've welded, you know, alloys doing this, especially on stainless steel. Stainless steel tends to close up a lot, so that's what I tend to do, just to avoid, you know, using that grinder every 10 seconds. Just keep opening. Like I said, it's like a keyhole dip method. Making sure I'm fusing on both sides of the walls. So I'm gonna go ahead and just heat up my last tie-in. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just dip side to side, dip side to side. And what I want you guys to see is how that puddle falls into that other feathered tack. Just watch it. There it goes. That's how I know that I'm tied in right there. Then I just fill it up. Fill it up. Once I see that I'm pretty even, I'll go ahead and pop out to the side.
All right, I'm about to close in. So right now, I keyhole dip, keyhole dip, keyhole dip, keyhole dip, up and down. Keep doing it, keep doing it. Don't stop. Even though it's closed, don't stop. Keyhole dip all the way through.
So I just wire wheeled my root pass. Rosendo likes to grind his clean. Tig doesn't really carry too much trash, but I mean, I think it's essential to go ahead and do one of the two. But with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start my hot pass. And on this video, that's really all we're gonna do was the root and the hot pass. So we're gonna have another one coming out soon, doing the fill and cap. Stay tuned. So again, guys, we're gonna start our hot pass now, and just like the root, we're gonna determine who starts first. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and start first. I'm gonna run my hot pass at about 170 amps, and I'm gonna just work my way up. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm just going side to side, making sure that puddle hits the walls. Always on your hot pass, you wanna basically melt new metal over the root. You never really want to tap into the root. And I usually love burning hotter. It just really burns everything out, but I can move a lot faster, finish and flush pipes out way quicker. My hot pass is almost, I would say, it brings me to almost about close to a 1/16 of flush. So I just throw one more pass over this, and I'm ready to cap. You see, I'm moving along pretty quick here. So right here, guys, we just wanted to show you a little arc shot of the hot pass. And like I said, I'm making sure to hit the walls, not stay in the middle, especially how hot I'm running. Like I said, I burn about 170 amps, and I'm just moving pretty quick. If you see that you're not putting any middle, push side to side. All right, my wire is right in the middle. Guys, a 12-inch 250 watt brother-in-law using TIG, doing the root and hot. Stay tuned because we have another video doing the fill and cap. So I want to say thank you to Rosendo for helping me out on this one, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe on all our videos, and we'll catch you on the next one. Hoorah!